Hey guys, welcome back. So last time what we did is put our structure together for the header part of our search.php page, which is this page at the top here. So we have a logo and we have a search box and we have a button too. The button doesn't have an image yet. You'll see here we just have some text, but we'll come back and add the image later. So we'll come back and do these tabs later as well. So anyway, let's work on making it look a little bit more like this then. So let's go back to your page in your browser, so search.php. And then what we're going to do is style this in the browser. So I'm going to right click on the page and click inspect, which will open up the developer tools just like we did before. I'm also going to make this browser a bit larger so you can see what's going on a little bit easier. And let's see if I can make this font a little bit larger for you too. Maybe that's a bit better for you to see. So if you go to the sources tab, you remember we have this style.css page, which is our exact same style sheet as we have in our Sublime text right here. So exactly the same page, all right? And any changes we do to this, we'll see right here as we type. So let's do it here, because if we do it in the style.css page here, we have to refresh the page in order to see the changes. Just to remind you, this is our structure. We have this header div right over here. This wrapper one is already styled from when we used it on the index page. You'll see we have this wrapper class. So when we styled it here, we've already taken care of styling this, so we don't need to do anything else here. So let's go ahead and style the header div now. So in this style.css page right here, let's just type dot header like that, and then this is going to have a background color, and the background color I'm going to use is the same one that Google uses. It is going to be FA, just like that. And you can't really see much, you can't tell, but if you scroll down you'll see a little bit of white showing up. That's the difference between the white and the gray we're using, so it will be a bit clearer later on, but for now this is the colors we're using, this gray right here. All right. And then what we also want to do is add a border to this, but only on the bottom, because if you look here, we have this sort of border along the bottom, so we want to do that as well. So underneath background color, I'm just going to write border dash bottom like that, and the border bottom is going to be 1 pixel wide. It's going to be a solid line, and the color is going to be EB. And I'm sure you're tired of me saying, but this is again from Google. So you'll see if I scroll up so you can see it, you can see we have this gray border at the bottom. Great. What I'm also going to do though now is jump ahead and just style this image, because it's it's taking up too much space. So this image is being styled by the logo container that we did here. If I go to Elements tab and go and find that image, you'll see on the right we have this style being applied to it, and this is what we used. This is the style we wrote when we did the index page. Okay, so it's reusing the same style because we gave it the same class. So it's going to take 100% width of whatever the container size is. So what we can do is underneath header right there, we can just say header content and then dot logo container. And if you remember, header content is the div we use just here, and then logo container is just underneath it. And then all we're going to do is just say width is going to be 150 pixels like that, and you see already it's made it a whole lot smaller. That's why I jumped ahead and did the image right now, because it'll make things a bit easier for us to see. So I just wanted to make that image just be a lot smaller. And so width 150%, and we're going to do 2 more things in there. We're going to give it some padding as well. We're going to say padding is going to be 5 pixels on the top and bottom, and then 20 pixels on the left and right. So the first value is for the top and bottom values of padding. The second one is for the left and right values. Okay, and if I go back to Elements and hover over the logo container now, you'll see the green part around here is the padding we've just given it. Okay, so wrong one. You'll see there the green part is the padding. All right, so just a bit of space around the image now. And you'll see also if I click on logo container, again we have our style at the side here. So it's exactly the same. You can either do it here or you can do it right here. So just to finish off, we're going to click on here and just give it one more line of style. And then we're going to say box sizing is going to be border box. And for those who don't remember, what box sizing means is when it calculates the width, it will take into account the padding as well and include that in the width calculation. Okay, and that's it for that. So what we're going to do is go back to style.css and let's copy all of this. Like I said before, you can copy the new changes we did, or if you want, you can just copy the whole style sheet and go back to style.css and just paste it all over the top. Okay, that's fine too, doesn't matter. So if we refresh the page now, we should see exactly the same changes, which we do. So like I said, we just jumped ahead and made this logo a bit smaller so that we could actually see things a bit better. We're going to do one more thing between here now, just underneath the header part right here. We're going to do one more bit of style, wrapper, and then it's going to be header content like that, header content. So wrapper, header content. All we're going to do is say display flex like this. So wrapper, and we're doing this header content part right here. Okay, and you can, like I said before, you can carry on the styling here if you want, or go back to the sources tab and do it there. But there's one more line we're going to do, and that's just align items is going to be center. So if I show you what that's just done, if I uncheck this, you'll see it goes back to the top right now. Okay, if I hover over the header content, the blue highlighted area is the element we're talking about. What we're saying is put the content in the center. So if I put it back again, I'll reapply it, you'll see that it's now centered. Okay, display flex is put them alongside each other, and then line items is just put them in the center. Okay, so it's centered it vertically. So already this is looking a lot better, and that's actually it for that element. That's all we need to style there, just those two lines. So we've added it there. Now what we're going to do is style the search container. Just to show you, in search.php, search container is the container that goes around our search form, which contains our search bar and our search button. Okay, so let's just do header content and then space search container, just like that. And there's only one thing we're doing here. We're just going to say flex 1 like that. So what that's done, if I show you, I'll hover over the search container div. You'll see it's taken up the whole available width. So because we've said flex 1, it means it will take up all of the available space it has. All right. If I get rid of that, you'll see the search container just takes up the amount it needs. So just for the text box and the search button. But if I enable this flex 1 again, so I'll reapply it, you'll see the highlighted section goes all the way across the page. So flex 1 just means fill up all of the available space. That's what's so good about flex, the flex attributes. Like I said, it's called flexible styling. It will use all of the available space it has, which is great. Okay, so that's good too. And we'll do one more thing. We'll just style the form here before we end this video. And there's only one thing we're going to add in here. So actually, I'll go back to sources instead, right at the bottom. Underneath where we had flex 1, I'm going to do one more part, and it's just going to be header content, and then search container, and then finally form. And then, like I said, one line in here, it's just going to be some margin, and the margin is just going to be 15 pixels on the top, 0 pixels on the right, 28 pixels on the bottom, and then 0 pixels on the left. So what we've done, we've said top 15, right 0, bottom 28, and then left 0. So the reason we're saying no margin on the right and left is to do with here, this button right here needs to be right up against the text box. Okay, this button is going to be right pressed up against it. So this is why we're doing this. You'll see that'll become a lot clearer later on when we come to style both of these. But for now, just know that we're giving it zero padding, zero margin, sorry, on the right and left, so that these will be pressed up against each other soon. Okay, or it will look like they are. So that's it. Like I said, good place to stop. Let's copy all of this though before we forget to. Go back to our style.css and just paste it all in there. Save it, because I've forgotten many times, like I said before, if you don't save it and you refresh the page, you lose everything you just done and you have to type it out again. So already this is looking a lot better, I would say.